Hi, this is Igor Ridjanovich from hdhead.com, and in today's tutorial I have a very interesting example of how to build a functional visible counter in Avid DS. And what I mean by that is, here's a 5-digit number on the screen. Looks like an old-fashioned car odometer. If I double-click on this effect that I built and type in any random 5-digit number, that number appears on the screen. 78214, 78214. Let's pick another one. 23547. 23547, and so forth. The number on the screen is following the number in the property builder. We'll talk later about the practical implications of this, but let's for now look at how this is built by looking at the most simple example, which is a single-digit number. And here's a single-digit counter. Double-click on this composite container. Call up the properties for this. It works the same way. Whatever number we have on the left, 6.9, they will be rounded to 7. It gets rounded to the nearest number. 1.1 is still a 1, and 1.8 is 2, and so forth. So how does this work? The stacked nodes here are graphics effects. If I select any one of these and click V on the keyboard, we can see the output of that node. So as you can see, they are just simply numbers coming out of the graphics tool. They're fancy looking numbers, as I said, look like old style odometer, but it could just be a plain font. It does not have to be Arabic numeral. It could be a Roman numeral or any numeral or any icon or whatever you need to put in there. Let's double click on 9 just see what it looks like inside. So it's just an old Avid DS graphics tool with a number inside. Let's step out of that and click on the output, hit V so we see the final output. What happens is this custom property builder slider that's called 0 to 9 is connected to the composite node, and inside the composite node you can think of it as you can think of this composite node in this case as a gatekeeper that opens up and closes these 10 gates, each one of the gates receiving a number from 0 through 9. If you observe, as I'm sliding the slider from 0 to 9, you'll see the opacity changing from 100 to 0, moving up. So here we go. It's jumping up to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what I was saying about a gate, it's as if the composite node is a gate letting only one number through at a time, and the number it lets through depends on whatever we have dialed in here, and that's achieved through expressions. The output of this property builder's property is connected to each one of these controls. If I right mouse click, go to expression editor, here's the math that's controlling that. It's a condition statement that says round the input of this value 0 through 9, and only if the input equals 4, the output of the statement is going to be 100, which is 100 opacity, and in all other cases it'll be 0, which is 0 opacity, therefore the gate is closed. So each one of these nodes has the same sort of math. Let's look at this one, except for the number that we're using to open and close the gate is different. This is 5, so this would let number 5 through, and so forth. So much for the single digit counter. Now we'll step up to a 2-digit counter, which is twice as complex. If I double click, zoom into this so we can see it better, click anywhere in the tree area, hit enter on the keyboard, the property box, the custom property box for this counter comes up, and so let's type in 25, for example. Here's 25. This works similar to the single-digit counter, but there are two counters. These two nodes correspond to the first and the second decimal place. So if I select this node and hit V on the keyboard, this is 5. If I select this one and hit V, we get 2. One more time, we get 25. So this node corresponds to this place, and this node corresponds to that place here. Inside of them, if I double click and expand, this inner working is exactly the same as what we had in the basic counter, and the custom property that controls this is right up there. But as you can see, there's an expression controlling this property. So how this all works is an additional layer of math that is sort of one layer above all this. If I close this, we're going to move this here, lock, and I'm going to double click on counter 10, and I'm going to lock that as well. Scale this down so you can see both the numbers. This number says 2, this number says 5, and if I once again hit click anywhere on the tree area, hit enter, we get the master property that controls both numbers. So the master property that goes from 0 through 99 controls these two values. So for example, let's type in 36, and you'll see it change 3, 6, 3, 6. This, through expressions, this is linked to this counter and this counter here. And if you look at, let's look at the first decimal place first. Go to the right mouse click, go to expression editor. And what we have inside is the input 1, which is the user interface builder 0 through 99. So it's this value here, 36. So that's 36. We round this number, and then we use the modulo function to divide it by 10 and get the remainder of that. So what happens is 36 divided by 10 is 3.6, and so the decimal remainder 0.6 is what is piped into the into this counter right here. And let's look at the second decimal place counter. Expression editor. Sort of a similar math, but with some additional things. We divide the number by 10 to get to the second decimal place, and then take modulo of 10, and that will give us 336. The 5-digit counter is going even more complex. It is again following the same idea as the 2-digit counter, but instead of 2 nodes, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decimal places, and you can stack these into infinity. Now the whole effect is not that complicated to build. It's just tedious because each one of these things has further trees inside and so forth. So it gets quite large. And let's just see again how this works. Hit enter, dial in any number. 16,000. There it is, 16,000. All 3 presets that you've just seen are available for download from hdhead.com, and I'll show you how to use them once you download them. You can put them in the custom presets folder on your system, and I will generate a black clip. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be black. It can even be a video clip. So here's our black, and I will hit apostrophe on the keyboard to open up the load preset dialog box. And basic counter is our first single-digit counter. It's on top of that clip as a clip effect, and here it goes. We'll remove this, go again apostrophe, 2-digit counter. There's a 2-digit counter. And lastly, the 5-digit counter, and there it is. 8785. All these values can be animated also, so if you need to create a, well, this, I guess that would be one of the practical applications of this effect. I'm going to mark in and out here, and at the in point we'll mark a keyframe, and then at the out point I will advance it. So if I hit play, a counter is counting. Of course, there are other applications of this, and as a matter of fact, there's another tutorial in which I explain how to use the basic functionality of the counters to create calculators. On screen, DS calculators. To download these 3 effects, you can visit hdhead.com and download and put them in your custom presets folder and play with them.